guys, it's Eric with the Miller Park Man, where we're throwing strikes and getting likes, hitting dingers, and getting listeners back again with another episode. What a game, what a night. This is your only Daily Brewers podcast. We come at you every day, once to twice a day, depending on the day. 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time is our upload time. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts, I should say, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Google, Amazon, you name it, we're there. Rumble, we are now on Rumble. Go check us out, follow us over there. Rate and review on any of your favorite podcast platforms. So what a game today. The Brewers, they go final 1 against the Diamondbacks, 7-1. I actually started the recording before the game ended, because I knew it was going to end really and I just wanted to get this thing recorded due to the late night hours. As you guys all know, Diamondbacks, late night hours. And what we're going to do here tonight is we're going to break down the good, the bad, and the downright ugly of tonight's game. We're going to talk about everything Blue Crew that happened. We'll take a look at the news and notes. We'll dive around the league and just take a swim in the Major League Baseball swimming pool. And we'll talk about some other topics as they come up. Lots of good here to talk about, though. So it was a hit parade. Once we finally got on the board and unlocked the game, it looked a little no-hit-esque, but we did have a solid game, and it started out with our man Corbin Burnes. Corbin Burnes is back after 2 so-so outings to start the year. Corbin Burnes found it tonight. He struck out 8 over 8 innings. He only allowed 3 hits and no earned runs. They actually kept him out there all 8. I think primarily because they got a couple on in the 8th. That's kind of why he didn't roll out for the 9th. Which, whatever, it's fine. I mean, still won the game, gave up a run at the end. Actually, they broke a streak. So this is the downright ugly. I'm just going to bring the downright ugly. The streak of the bullpen not allowing a run ends. That's the downright ugly. And it's not even that ugly because they only run in 28 innings. 28 innings, and they give up 1 run. That's downright ugly because the streak ended. Time of today's game was 2 hours and 19 minutes. Thank God for these 2-hour and 19-minute West Coast games, right? Yeah, they put up a few runs. We had a couple homers, 7 runs on 8 hits. We got home runs from Rowdy, Broseau, and I'm on the D-backs. The D-backs. That's what happens in the late inning games. So we had Adames, Rowdy, and Broseau. And then I forgot Adames. Pitch violations. Merrill Kelly had 1 pitching by the pitcher. Joel Payamps is the guy who finally gave up a run. I'm not sad about it. It was a cool streak. I mean, it was fun to watch the bullpen. Broseau went 2 for 4 with a homer, a double, and 3 RBIs and a run scored. Across the board, even Christian Yelich got on the board with a hit today. Anderson was really the only guy who didn't get a hit, but he did get a walk, which he scored the run on the walk. Turing and Weimer also did not benefit with hits today. So the young guys not getting hits out here in Arizona. So I would say that's the bad. The young guys kind of struggling right now. Our guys that were hot are cooling down a little bit, and our guys that weren't hot are heating up. So we could have this balance all season long, going back and forth between the youth and the veterans, and uh, not necessarily veterans, but the guys who've been here longer. If we could have that balance all season long, we're off to have a good season. Corbin Burnes had a bounce back outing. Really, really was commanding it. I actually listened to, they had an interview on the Brewers Unfiltered podcast, which is Sophia, Adam, and Tim Dillard. And they actually talked to Corbin and how he kind of processes things. He only takes about a day, and he just goes through everything. He catalogs, or call it a diary. It's more like he just catalogs everything he threw and how he felt, or any kind of inclinations. Not necessarily notes about the players or the batters, but necessarily like how he felt on each pitch and that kind of thing. He catalogs and he writes that all down, and he reviews it, and he looks at the tape. So it was really kind of cool to hear that. And then he talked about his personal life a little bit and how he watches fishing for like 7 hours a day and plays with his kid and like goes off for work. It's kind of cool. Kind of cool little interview. It's the Brewers Unfiltered podcast. Go check it out. Any other highlights I wanted to talk about? Burnes' ERA is going to be down, of course. I think he was something in the 7.94, so 6.94, something like that. He's down at 5.15, 5.19, sorry. But that'll come and go. So one outing is not, or two outings is not going to dictate his ERA the whole season. So really good game. Just a good game overall. I'm glad I stayed up for it. I like to stay up for these games. I always like the late night games because I feel like I'm watching something that not many people are, because people are so half in on it. Like I listen to a lot of these guys talk, and it's like, are they, how are they watching baseball? Like sportscasters, and this is you have the greatest job in the world. The greatest job in the world is to talk like I do. If I was paid to do this, which I'm not, I'm monetized, but that doesn't equal payment, let me tell you. But this is the greatest thing in the world, to talk baseball every single day. And you're getting paid to do it, and you can't sit up through a game that ends at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. A couple minutes after 11. Shame on you. But that's why I'm here. That's why I do what I do, because I love it and I have fun with it. Burnes gets a win. He has 1-1 on the season. Brewers moved to 8-3 ahead of the frog in my throat. Ahead of the D-backs. D-backs that also have a similar record. Ahead of the Pirates is what I meant. But what a game. Good to see the Brewers back in it. 8 innings, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, and 8 Ks for our man, Corbin Burnes. To go back into the day, there was some bad news on the fact that Woody's on the IL, 15 days, shoulder inflammation. He was supposed to start tomorrow. They called up Jansen Junk from AAA. This is going to be his first outing with the crew this year, so we'll see how that goes. Woody's been pitching well, so it's probably just he didn't heal right from the last outing, and they're taking a precautionary measure now versus costing us time in the long haul. So tomorrow's updated starter. Well, they didn't necessarily say that Jansen Junk is going to be the starter. They might change that. So we'll see. We'll see what move is to be made. Maybe it's bullpen day. Who knows? Who knows at this juncture? Willy breaks up the no-no with a homer, which was huge. I mean, absolutely huge. So good to see. Good to see. Just beautiful, beautiful stuff. So let's get into some other stuff around baseball because we always love talking about everything around baseball, and that's just kind of the. I missed the Shohei start. Oh, I missed the Shohei start because of the Brewers game being on late. See, that's the problem. Like, I like to watch the late games. Yep, 7 innings, 1 hit, 0 on 6 strikeouts for Shohei Ohtani tonight. Angels won 2-0. Damn. Let's look at the box. Let's see if Shohei got me. His ERA is 0.47, by the way. That's insane. It's got to be one of the leaders. Angels hitting. What did Ohtani do? And he went 1 for 4. Guy is an animal. Guy is the greatest thing about baseball. We talked about the sweeper a little bit yesterday. If you haven't heard of the sweeper, look it up. It's a new variation of the slider that they're doing. 4-homer night powers dominant Rays to the 11th victory. The Rays continue to roll. And it's real at this juncture. I mean, I don't know how many games you got to take if they got to take a magic sweep. But Mountcastle had 9 RBIs tonight. So that's and Mountcastle. That's insane. That's an absolutely insane number of RBIs. So the show came out today as well. That's got Jazz Chisholm on the cover. It's on all platforms: Switch, PS5, PS4, Xbox, Xbox One. I haven't picked it up yet. I don't know if I will. It's hard. Like every year, like, do I pick up the new game? I love the game, but I don't have enough time to play it. I was looking at everything. I think we're gonna jump into scores real quick. Let's go into scores. So we talked about power rankings yesterday, so I'm not going to cover that tonight. All right, let's go into the games that are final. So the Brewers obviously won over the Diamondbacks, 7-1. Washington got beat by the Angels. We talked about that. That was Shohei Ohtani's start. The Cardinals did win the game tonight against the Rockies, so they are now 4-7. Rockies are 5-7, so Rockies actually have a better record than the Arizona, the St. Louis Cardinals. Kind of crazy. But I read a crazy stat today that Chris Bryant hasn't hit any homers at Coors. He's hit in 47 of 52 games he's played at Coors Field, but he's yet to hit a homer. So I find that interesting since he signed with them last year. Rangers beat the Royals 8-5. Twins beat the White Sox 4-3. Cubs 14-9 over Seattle. Atlanta 7-6 over the Reds. The Mets lost to the Padres tonight. Josh Hader got in and got the save. We're actually seeing them in this road series, so that should be fun. There was another note from the interview with Corbin Burnes. He actually mentioned that they get to see Josh Hader. He's excited about it. So that's pretty cool. But Blue Jays beat Detroit 9-3. Phillies lost to the Marlins. The Marlins are on a little bit of a hot streak. They're 5-7 on the year. Doing pretty good. They beat the Mets a bunch of times. Rays 7-2. We talked about that already. Me and Butcher's boy David Bednar got the W over the Astros today in a 7-4 victory Orioles 12-8 over the Athletics. Yankees 11-2 over the Guardians. Garrett Cole was on the mound for that one. And Dodgers and Giants are facing off right now, and the Giants got a 5-0 lead in the top of the ninth. So that game's just about over. Should be finishing in the time that we're doing this. So yeah, that's the scores around the league, guys. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. This has been a fun and exciting season. The Angels record 6-5. Angels are playing some good ball so far too. So maybe they might do something meaningful and worthwhile this season. That'd be amazing. So here's something I want to cover, and I listen to many podcasts. I tell you guys this every day when I do this podcast. But one of the things I want to talk about tonight was the way that other sportscasters and specifically some of the writers talk about the Brew Crew. It's almost like they garner a level. They want them to be failures, or they just speak very negative in all lights, whether good, bad, or ugly. Even in the Brewers Unfiltered, Adam McCalvey was almost like projecting a bad stretch or projecting. And I know we're not going to be going straight up all season long. I get that, but like, why talk about it? Like, isn't baseball superstitious? Why are we talking about that? Let's focus on the good. And just stay there, like, I don't know. These guys seem to just, it's their job, I guess, part of their job, but documentary series on the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers. So far, the only team that would make it to the World Series is they just a bit outside the story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers title for reference. I mean, cool, but not cool. This is too much of the, like, why is this even a thing? Like, we lost that World Series. Why does it matter? There's too much time spent on the 1982 Brewers, and I've said this. I'm gonna soapbox about it. I get we went to the World Series. We didn't win the World Series. We have celebrated losing the World Series since 1982, guys. I mean, literally, the ultimate troll happened when we celebrated. I think it was it 30 years that we just celebrated, where we had the like the giveaway at Miller Park and did all this, and then the next weekend when the Brewers were in town, the St. Louis Cardinals celebrated the 1982 World Series. Pretty pathetic, because they won, we lost. Just dumb. It's dumb. Why do you guys care so much? Robin Yount, I'm sorry, but Robin Yount was a great baseball player. I'm not denying that, but Robin Yount doesn't even remember playing in the 1982 World Series. That was very apparent. If you want reference to that, go back and watch the interview that Sophia Minnaert did with him like a year and a half or 2 years ago. It was terrible. She had to remind him that he even played, basically. Who cares? We're over it. Get over it. Well, let's worry about this team. Worry about this team that's on the field right now. God, I mean, the amount of time and energy people spend on the 1982 World Series loss is pathetic. Great, we lost. Let's move on. Do other teams celebrate losing the World Series year in and year out and glorize a team that didn't do it? Sorry, that's my soapbox. It gets me mad. It gets me really mad, because it's like, okay, I wasn't alive then. I mean, I was born in 85. So, but it's like, that's all I've heard about for 37 years of my life, is this team that lost the World Series. Who cares? They lost. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents on that. Sorry. Not sorry. Don't care. Move on. Get over it. But yeah, just the way the media talks, it's like they almost expect bad and cheer and root the bad on, which to me is just it's kind of disgusting. More stories, more coverage of the fact that the Brewers are extending beer drinking time, which is retarded. It just is. Afraid of losing money, I guess. Talking about the closely knit in syncness of the club, and I like where we are right now. It seems like everybody's playing well. Just watching post game, which I haven't been watching because I've been recording this podcast. Just looking at them, kind of high fiving at the end of the game. These guys all seem like buddies. Just the way Corbin talked in that interview. Like I said, it's on the Brewers Unfiltered podcast. Very good stuff. They're a team. They're a good team too. They've got it. They've kind of put something together finally, and in a way, it almost makes it look like they had a bigger plan all along, which I don't necessarily think that was true. What I think is things worked out in their favor. Now, this is the next one, and this is a big one for me. This is a big soapbox, and I'm going to hop right onto this one. First of all, let's congratulate Greg Counsell, 1,181 games as manager of the Milwaukee Brewers. Good for him. He now is the franchise record holder, and that'll just keep growing every game for the rest of the season. So don't need to go too far into that one. I still might mention that every day now, just for fun, just to be like, well, it's 1,281 now, All right. Final topic of today's video. We're going to talk about the fact that I lost it. I just lost it because I went into the Craig Counsell thing. I lost what I was going to talk about. Oh, sorry. We're going to talk about what the Brewers have done. So today in several of the podcasts, no, I don't remember which podcast. I apologize. One of the podcasts, they were talking about how the Brewers have turned the turn of events here to play the way that they're currently playing has made up for everything, the transgressions of last year and trading Josh Hader when you were in first place and everything else. It has not. I didn't forget that we had Josh Hader. I'm not going to forget that we had Josh Hader and that we had a perfectly functional team. And if we would have kept Josh Hader and then still had Devin Williams and Josh Hader and, assembled a bullpen of some kind with those two in it and still had the starting pitchers, yeah, we wouldn't have Contreras, but we would have found a catcher. Catchers are a dime a dozen. You can get them anywhere, just like most players. We still would have had, it's not like any of these three rookies were acquired in that trade. Really, we have nothing left that's acquired via that trade except for David Gasser, and we don't know what he's going to be. I mean, I'm a little out on that one until I see proof that he's actually worthwhile. But I think they almost laughed in our face, and I don't feel that they've done enough to make up yet. I mean, they've got our hearts back into it by playing well. Yes, these rookies are helping make up for what they've screwed up, but they aren't fully there yet. You know, it's like when someone breaks your heart, but then tries to come back into your life. You don't fully forgive them. Sometimes ever. Sometimes ever. They broke my heart with this one. They broke some of the players' hearts. I mean, look at Corbin Burnes' relationship with him and Devin Williams and all these players. I mean, you know, and then you get rid of a guy like Raptor who was just like the all-around good guy. I mean, I think they've made some moves and they've made some adjusted and handled business as business wants to be. But I listen to a guy every day. His name is David Sampson. If you haven't listened to him, it's called Nothing Personal with David Sampson. And he always closes it out with, it's nothing personal. It's just business. And this is personal because, like, you know, we built a love affair with this team. And Josh Hader and Corbin Burnes and Brandon Woodruff and Freddie Peralta and Eric Lauer and Willy Adames and Christian Yelich. And then you take away a big part of that. The guy we're used to for the last 3 years closing out games. I'm sorry, this current win streak, this current good team and what we are doing does not bring it fully back from the fact that you pissed away a great team. You pissed it away. And that's what it comes down to. That's what I'm not happy about. And I don't know. I think it's irresponsible to say that this win streak just all of a sudden makes up for them fudging $6 ticket sales, you know, ticket vouchers, and throwing a bunch of crap at us. You know, it's like, oh, we know you're mad, so here's some free tickets and some vouchers, and please forgive us for our, you know, they just did it because they thought they were cashing in. And then David Stearns left because he knew he screwed up. That's the facts. Am I drawn back a little more? I'm drawn back in a little more. It's like when you go back for the first time and you're questioning it, like, should I really be making this decision? I'm not fully invested yet, but I've come back for a makeout session at least. Maybe a little. I don't know. I won't go too far into that, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm back, but I'm not. I don't want to get my heart broken again. I don't want him to break my heart. So, I think that's where we are with as fans. I mean, I didn't see a lot of sellouts in this home opener. I mean, the only sellout night was the night that guys were coming in like crazy just to buy jerseys and sell them for $90. Yeah, those guys are fans, real fans. I'm here to get a Giannis jersey. Oh, wait, I was just in here 30 seconds ago. I'm going to go back to the back of the line now and start all over again. That's a fan. That's a real fan. No, that's a grease son of a bitch, is what that is. Pardon my language. If you're this late in the podcast and you're worried about that swear word, I apologize, but those guys are idiots. And if you're one of those guys and you listen to my podcast, I'm sorry, not sorry. You're a freaking moron. No tolerance. Just downright ridiculous. I'm gonna sell some bobbleheads. So don't get me wrong, I sell them, but I'm not gonna sell them for outrageous amounts. These are all gonna be like $5, $10, $15. All right, that's all I got for you guys tonight. Thank you again for watching. As always, like, subscribe. Remember to rate and review. Leave a comment down below if you like this episode. We'll be back again tomorrow. Throw strikes, good likes. It's an afternoon game, so maybe depending on the end time, I might have a live going. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what that's going to bring. I mean, it's already a late night tonight, so I might rest tomorrow afternoon. We'll record it sometime, though. There'll be an episode. There always is. every day. We're coming up on 100. We're gonna hit 100 in 2 more episodes. So I don't know if we can pull off some kind of big magic for the 100th, but we'll try. Guys, thank you for watching the Mill Park Minute. As always, go Brewers. Corbin Burnes is back, baby. Woo!
Thank you for watching the Miller Park Minute. Go Brewers.